Freaking out, man.
You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Broadcasting live from the Temple of Freedom, the Social Contact Club in Kingman, Arizona. Italian by birth, American by choice. Songwriter, poet, author, freedom fighter, self-defense instructor, ordained minister, founder of the Religion of Freedom. Here he is,
All
Brother
systems
Joe
go.
Casana.
We're not afraid. You work for us. We're not your slaves.
Another Sunday, another show. Even technically it's not Sunday, because the moment that we are broadcasting, at least we are recording the broadcast, it is Friday. Friday evening. And we're here from the Social Contact Club. Here with this, the Social Contact Club radio show. My name is Luca Zanna, and we're going to talk about different things today. I have a special guest. I'm going to share a couple of information, of course, a little bit of the latest news about when it comes down to the state of affair of this nation, or whatever it's left of this republic. Before I go ahead, a little note. Yes, we are located here at 3001 North Stockton Hill Road, Mojave County, Arizona, the Social Contact Club. It's a private club. What we do here, you can go to the Social Contact Club, exactly socialcontactclub.com, and figure it out. But now, more important, my information here I would like to share with you. It is also about what happened to the YouTube channel, because the show, it goes on 1340 AM and also 104.1 FM from Needles. That's the part of the radio show. But we used to enjoy our little YouTube channel that the last few episodes of this show, it started to give me kind of a hard time. After 5 minutes, 10 minutes, the show, the blue interrupts, and then I had to somehow continue recording, something weird. I got an information today, an email from YouTube, special, policy or whatever, the one that they technically take a look about your content. And they put me on warning. They gave me the first strike. The reason why, I don't know what happened. I thought, what's going on? I cannot upload any more YouTube for the next week. I cannot broadcast anything live for the next week. Kind of a punishment, And the reason why this is kind of outstanding, I mean, really amazing, I think almost amazing. Because in one of my latest shows, that really I even didn't tag, I didn't even put any headline. I just put, show number 4 or whatever it was. I was talking about the latest election, 2021 federal election, when it comes down to the president. And, my humble opinion, that, by the way, is based by facts. In Arizona, we also have an audit now that is going through, that this election was a fraud. Mr. Biden is an usurper, and that's my humble opinion. Was anything really so incredibly disruptive when it comes down to, basic, first of all, was nothing illegal. I didn't say advocate for any violence. More important, I think also I said something that is true, but we'll find out pretty soon. But regardless, it was my opinion. And more important, I wasn't use any special language that was not even FCC compliant, so much that my show went on the air with no problems. So that's to show you the point where we're at. This is a completely during what we called 1984, the Ministry of Truth. They tell you what is true, they tell you what you can say, and they can shut you down with just a switch of a flick, just bang, my YouTube channel now cannot be operated. By the way, that's fine. I'm already looking for new solution. There is another company called Rumble or whatever. But we are back to recording this show now on the more old-fashioned way through hard drive. Now, so that's a little bit about, why am I saying all that? Because maybe I know this is nothing new. We had much bigger radio hosts and people like, politicians. I mean, look at what they done to President Trump. I mean, they cut him off everywhere. I mean, they can do that to him. Imagine what they can do to us. And that's where we are. This is a new America with a final ending with a K. So all I'm saying this because this is happening, my friends. We are living in these very scary times. That is just the beginning. They feel entitled, these big corporations, to pretty much do whatever they want when it comes down to our way to express ourselves. And, pretty soon we will be finding out that we need to start to print again, out of maybe some garage, a little bit of the printing. Remember during the World War II, during the resistance, they were printed with a hand roller, and then put them on the wall. Anyway, tonight, special guest, and I want him to introduce himself again because, I had him last time. It was a great opportunity to remember why originally I joined the John Birch Society, and why also I've been very thankful for my growth as an American, when it comes down to my knowledge, to my education. A lot of things that today I am, it's all the result of things that you went through in the past. After all, I was pretty lucky. I came to the country very fresh, and even 1 year into the country, I started to stumble in some of these New American magazine, and another guy that was one of the few, I think it was the only probably John Birch Society in Hollywood, I guess. I don't think there are many out there. But anyway, he started to give me some information, and from there I started to educate myself. So anyway, Mr. Michael, introduce yourself, please. You do better than
thanks. Great to be back. My name's Mike Costers. I'm a National Development Officer for the John Birch Society, and I cover an area from Colorado to the Pacific Ocean, from the Canadian border to the Mexican border.
Wow. That's pretty big. That's a lot of work.
It's a little bit of land, yes.
I mean, you do this pretty much. I know it's your passion. I'm sure when you do things like that, it's also your passion. But is it also your job? I'm curious. I never asked you last time. Is this something you do also for a living? Because it takes a lot of effort. I mean, it seems like a lot of things to take care of when it comes down to these areas.
Yeah, yes and no is the answer to your question.
Okay.
I came out of retirement to do this, so I was happily retired.
That's great.
And peacefully retired. So here I am back in the middle of everything again, and it's absolutely a passion. It's a love for this country. It's a love for our Constitution. That's what the John Birch Society, that is our sole mission. It is to educate about and to support the U.S. Constitution, and it's nothing to do really politically with either party, anything like that. We simply support our republic and American exceptionalism and our Constitution.
And I'm just curious now. You don't have to answer, of course. I'm curious. What type of background did you have when you were working in the business world?
Well, I've been in sales my entire life.
Really?
I started out as a teenager working as a canvasser for my father. And I was not, as a kid, I was not real big on working at a fast food joint. Mm-hmm. And so he said, well, why don't you go out and knock on a few doors for me? And so for several years, I was a canvasser. I then got into sales in the building products industry. And at one point decided I'd like to change that up a little bit. So I got into the wholesale side of it, where I was representing manufacturers and going to organizations like the one I used to work for, and supporting and educating their salespeople on our products and comparative or competitor products.
Interesting.
And when I retired as I had become a national sales manager for a manufacturing company, and that's when I retired after that.
Wow, interesting. I see everybody has their story, and I say, at the end of the day, no matter, that's what I like about, in general, the spirit of the John Birch. People come from different background. I met people that were plumbers. I met people that were blue collars. I met people that were professors. People that were in the military. Even, of course, they couldn't say out loud. They would be kicked out so fast, But, and that's a beautiful thing. Just Americans, people that understand what type of let's say, enemies we are facing. And 50 years ago, was all a conspiracy, or at least for most of the Americans, there was a bunch of crazy people. And now all the things that were crazy are also real. I mean, I don't know, Mike, if you heard just last week, the lieutenant, and it was a lieutenant colonel that is one of the top, at least, person in command in this new Space Force, group created under the Trump administration. All he said, it wasn't a little podcast, something, a little radio show, whatever. He said that he really, truly fears that Marxism now it's within the armed force. It's true, by the way. It's not even about a political idea. He's not advocating for anything. He was just saying a fact. They kicked him out so fast out of that job he had. I mean, this is like a purge.
Yep.
And it's happening. I mean, the enemy is already inside the machine. And I mean, Mr. Welch, he was talking about that when it was in the 50s.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, let's go back to Senator McCarthy.
Yeah.
If you want to go back,
Yeah.
the thing that you just described happened to Senator McCarthy back in the 1950s.
Wow.
He stated that there were communists in the State Department.
Yeah.
And there were Whittaker Chambers, Alger Hiss,
Yeah.
the Rosenberg. How long do you want me to go?
And some of them, they were proven in trial. I mean, they rot in jail. I mean, the
Rosenbergs were
Yeah.
executed because of treason, and what happened to Senator McCarthy? The very thing that you talked about. He was, as a matter of fact, we have the term today, McCarthyism, right?
McCarthy was right,
and he was right. Yes. So. That sort of slander and behavior has been happening for decades and decades, and we're seeing it now more than ever.
And the last 10 years, I think, starting at least, I mean, don't get me wrong, there was terrible, almost under every president, they always been infiltrated. Even under Reagan, he was surrounded by all these CFR people.
That's right.
That's a fact. But now it's on the open. I mean, since Obama, you have imagined that the CIA director, Mr. Brennan, a former Communist Party member, would become the director of one of the most powerful organizations in the world? I mean, the CIA, it's like, more powerful at the end. It's like the real dark government. President come and goes. The real CIA people, insiders, they've been around forever since the creation, and they've been deciding who stays in government pretty much. So, and the guy that is still around, he was a Marxist. Not only that, but he also converted Muslim. So we have a real political entity that now is infiltrating that organization that's supposed to be just about America. Instead it's not.
Yeah, and you probably recall from the last time I was here, we were talking about an initiative that we started in the John Birch Society for the state of Arizona specifically. We borrowed President Reagan's phraseology, and we came up with the shining state on the hill. And the intent of that was to elevate Arizona above this sea of swill of socialism that is coming from Washington, D.C. And I know one of the things you wanted to talk about tonight that is involved in that shining state on the hill situation or idea that we came up with is this statute 36-787.
Yeah,
and
we'll talk about that, of course, and everything you want. By the way, my goal is really, truly, I tell you, I truly believe now. People say, "What do I do?" After all, sometimes we feel hopeless, and that's exactly the way they want us to make us feel. Because if you think about it, the election proved that there is not really any more clear elections. I mean, the federal elections, for sure, we've been robbed, and this is a fact. By the way, I'm so proud that at least people like, Senator Borrelli and other people like him in our legislation, they've been leading the way, giving an example to other states also that we need to still investigate. We cannot just go back to sleep and accept this fraud. So that's for sure. We got to at least keep fighting, keep exposing it. Now, at that point, what the American people will do after we know the truth, that's another story. We don't know yet. But at least the first part of the job must be done.
Well, that's right. And I would encourage our listeners to call their state legislators, because right now, or let me back up. About 2 weeks ago, I've been out of the state for about 2 weeks on business. And when I left, there were right around 4 or 5 election integrity bills sitting there. They're ready to be passed. They're sitting there waiting in our state legislature to be passed. Now, they have passed some, and they passed some good ones. But there's a lot of work, just as you're saying, that needs to be done. So I would encourage our listeners to call legislators and get those remaining bills passed and into law.
And exactly. And regardless, I still have one thing I have a problem when people say, okay, yes, 2024, Trump, we're not going to last 3 more years. We're not going to last 3 more months, in my opinion. If we don't do something, I mean, don't get me wrong, we got to still keep fighting. But the problem is we got to look at something that must be done like right now in at least try to slow down this slaughter, because what they're trying to do now, they're trying to destroy as fast as they can. I mean, since they put a puppet of Biden up there. In 8 hours, he destroyed 100,000 jobs. He destroyed more things that we could have done if we wanted to do it for real. I mean,
gas is up over $1 a gallon.
Everything. I mean, we're
Yeah.
now, and this is just the beginning. We're in World War III almost. I mean, everything you could imagine. The borders doesn't exist anymore. I mean, at the same time, they want us to go to sleep. At the same time, they want us to lose hope. That's because after, really, we're going to be cooked. So my goal is now, that's why I'm focusing more than ever to think, okay, forget about for maybe Washington, but your city, your county, your state, we still have a lot to do here. We can still do, and this is how we regain our sovereignty as a nation, as a republic. Because after all, we are a republic, a union of 50 states. And what's happening right now in Arizona, I think, is creating a very great breakthrough and example for other states. I mean, now I heard that the audit is going through at a couple of states. They are kind of following it through, following us. So, and at that point, everybody is going to be judged one day, pretty soon, when we have the truth. And I'm not even talking about, whatever religion you believe in next life. I'm talking about now, because right now, the military, they're supposed to be kind of the defenders of this republic, at least the first line. These brass, these top generals that they are there, we know very well that many of them are compromised because they know the evidence is going to be on their face even more. They already have enough evidence. But when we give them all the evidence and they will refuse to do their duty, for me, they've already been, at that point, they've already done their decision. And I'm not going to tell you, I don't know exactly how things are going to play, but at that point, we already have now, it's beyond just political ideology here. Mm-hmm. It's about traders and whoever's going to stand for this republic. And we know that this long-term plan, correct me if I'm wrong, you remember even just the last 8 years with Obama, we had the purge of the top generals. I mean, they all been, and the same generals that were purged, they wrote a letter just last couple of weeks. They're very concerned about that this nation now is under Marxist attack, all the things. So now I still believe there is something we can do, regroup like-minded people, even just for the fun of it, just for the, mind. Sometimes your mind must be kind of, detox from all these bad news. You surround yourself with like-minded people. I like the JBS people because, you know at least some stuff you got in common. You may not like on everything each other, but when it comes down to this philosophy, this ideology, this belief, these core important roots, we don't need to argue, okay?
That's right.
So that's very comforting. You go in a room, you don't need to look at each other like, wow, what you got there. No, you already know you got that straight. And that's already worth, in my opinion. You have a great time at least, you don't need to, oh my God. And then of course you organize, because even if you get 20 people, you can show up in your next county supervisor meeting, you know what, nobody ever show up. Maybe one person goes there, but what if next time beside Chris, 20 more people from the same organization go there in an individual way? They're going to have a shock, because I remember that we used to do that in a different way in the county. So organization, getting it together, coordination, it's a good start. Let me shut up, Mike. Go ahead. Tell us about the new project that we got there.
I don't know. I don't know if I can beat you. That everything you said sounded pretty good. But well, I know one reason that we came together here is to talk about this statute 36-787, and you're talking about coming together and you had mentioned some things politically, and one thing about the John Birch Society is that it's not just a political thing where we have Republicans, we have Democrats, we have constitutionalists, we have conservatives, we've got a whole plethora mix of people, but we have it's that way in every way. We have whites, blacks, Hispanics, Asian. It truly is exactly what you described, and we have every I guess every sort of person represented in the John Birch Society. On Statute 36-787. We talked the last time I was here about the fact that don't presume that your legislator knows about previous laws that have been passed and are active now, much less a lot of the ones that they're voting on, right? This is an example. 36-787 is the law that Governor Ducey was talking about repeatedly when he was asked, well, how do you have the right to shut down a private business? How do you have the right to determine that a strip club, for instance, is a necessary business, but the church right down the street from it is not? You know, where do you derive that authority from?
That's
right?
funny, yeah.
And his answer always was Statute 36-787, and this is a state statute that was, or a state bill that was passed in our state that is now a statute that is wholly and entirely unconstitutional, and it needs to be repealed. It needs not to be rewritten.
And let's sum it up. Exactly what does it say?
Well, 36-787, first of all, provides that the governor has the authority to, under a state of emergency, and that is the key. 36-787 comes into play under a declared state of emergency by, well, according to 36-787, the governor. It should be the legislature, but it's the governor. And he has the right to then...
To be God.
I beg your pardon?
To be God.
Well, more or less,
Pretty much,
to
decide whatever, who dies, who lives.
You're basically right. To have mask mandates, to shut down businesses, he has the right. I don't know when the governor or when any governor in this state, whilst they were governor, got their medical degree. But apparently, when you become governor in the state, you automatically receive a medical degree because he has the authority to ration medicine and vaccines.
Wow.
That is over and above any input from medical professionals or doctors. So if, let's say, Luca, you have a heart condition, the governor can get in between you and your doctor on your heart medication. If someone has MS,
Wow.
it's the same thing. Wow. All of a sudden, the governor becomes a medical expert.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a very dangerous thing. So in Section C, and that's what I just quoted you as far as the rationing of vaccines. If anybody, if you want to grab a pencil out there, people, and take note of this, that is in Section 35, that's item B2. And that's in Statute 36, State Statute 36, Section 35, item B2. Section C states that the governor can mandate vaccinations on Arizona citizens even if they only have the possibility to be exposed to infection.
Wait a second. Let me understand the verb. Mandate, you said?
Mandate. So
so they're gonna come now with that. Let's say I said, no, Governor, I don't like your shot. So they're gonna tie me up and say, now you gotta take the shot because we say so. Like pretty much during the experimentation of the Nazi in the camps. By the way, that's Nuremberg trial. They found out that you can't do that anymore. Nobody's supposed to be forced to take any medication against their will. So we go back to the Nazi time.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I had no idea that he could mandate. I mean, in his dream, he can become Superman. You know that. I mean, he could tell me that, I don't know, I'm a rose and he's a horse. I mean, he can say whatever he wants. But at the end of the day, you got to do it. Somebody got to do it. I want to challenge him. I would like to see the moment that the Governor Ducey will come to my door and say, you got to take the vaccine. I mean, first of all, I don't think he's coming in person. He's going to send some few bastards that probably, I don't think they're going to be all happy to do that job, but somebody's going to show up.
Well, and before we lionize Governor Ducey too much, which I've said before, I don't believe Governor Ducey is the brightest bulb in the tree. But anyway, it's not only Governor Ducey; it's any governor. So it can be Governor Ducey, it can be Governor Napolitano, it can be any former governor of this state.
I don't care who he is.
That's right. They can. So and the state of emergency. We've been under a Wuhan virus state of emergency, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, this can be a military state of emergency. This can be a forest fire state of emergency. If there's been a state of emergency called, any of the things that we're going to talk about here can be put upon, if you will, the citizenry by the governor. So it doesn't have to just be a medical state of emergency.
So anything would be an emergency. Well,
that's right.
I have no idea about this, honestly. I mean, this is a very powerful statement because they technically All they need to do now to find the next excuse of hysteria, and they say,
That's right.
They already have the vaccine now. 6 months ago, they didn't have the vaccine.
That's
3 months
right.
ago, now they have this. By the way, I'm sorry, man. People are dying in Italy. The army, the union of the army says, "Screw that. Let them get it to the civilians. We're not going to take it because 20 soldiers died in a week."
Mm-hmm.
So, and the point that whoever is dying now, it's kind of a mistake. Because I truly believe what's happening, this is going to interesting to see what happens to immune system in 6 months from now. I think it was planned for a long term. Like when you go hunt, I don't really go hunt, but a few times I used to go hunt with my grandfather. Say, wait, hey dad, granddad, there's the duck. No, wait for the rest of the duck get in. Mm-hmm. If you shoot the first one, the rest is going to be gone. Mm-hmm. I truly believe the vaccine was designed to be sure everybody takes it. 90% of the population. 1 year from now, too late, too bad, and you're dying of cancer, or you're castrated, you're infertile now, or you have miscarriage after miscarriage, or your DNA start to transform, I don't know in what. And what you're gonna do? Who you gonna get mad at? Bill Gates already got his, $2 billion bought going around the ocean. Everybody's gone. You have no liability recourse with this big pharma company, and Biden probably is already gonna be 6 feet under anyway. So. People don't understand the gravity of what's happening here.
And that's why this is so important, is because right now we have a choice.
I'm freaking out.
With laws like this, Statute 36.
Please go ahead.
We eventually will not have the choice.
Yeah.
We will get the vaccine, period. So and when I drill down further on this, as a matter of fact, when I my staff and myself, we had a private phone call with Arizona Representative Walt Blackman.
Okay, where is he from?
And he's from, I believe he's from the Show Low Snowflake area.
Okay, I know the area. Yeah,
I believe that's correct.
Yeah.
But anyway, and now he's an elected representative, right?
Mm-hmm. Does he get it?
Well, I read this all. What I'm going to go through with you today, I read to him on a Zoom call with he and with my staff. Mm-hmm. And the first words out of his mouth when I finished reading about Statute 36, he said, quote, "That's scary."
Yeah, that's
unquote.
Scary. I'm telling you right now myself. I have
So
no idea.
once again, our representatives, this was, I believe the statute was passed years ago, and our current legislature, the preponderance of the legislators there, do not know about this statute. So now, if you think that is scary. And again, one thing I want to repeat is that even if there is just the possibility of being exposed to something, smallpox, Wuhan virus, whatever it is, you're eligible, quote unquote, to get the vaccine. In other words, you don't have to be proven to have anything. Yeah. But under the statute, you will get the vaccine. It's mandated.
Wow.
So if a citizen refuses to comply with the forced vaccination order, the governor can then send law enforcement or the National Guard to you under Statute 36. Okay? And folks, this is if you have any question about it, this is in Section C of Statute 36.
Oh my.
All right? So, I want you to write it down and check me out on it, because what I'm telling you is straight out of the statute. So if you refuse to comply with the forced vaccination order in the state of Arizona under a state of emergency, the law enforcement or the National Guard can be sent to you to see that you comply.
Oh my God.
Okay? Now, Section C2 provides for if you further refuse after that happens, that Section C2 provides for isolation and quarantine. And make no mistake about it, quarantine means incarceration.
Yeah.
That's what it means.
It's not like the hotel, they give it to illegal aliens with free breakfast and food and stuff like that.
No,
we're gonna get
this is deadly serious. I mean, it provides that for isolation and quarantine of citizens who still refuse to comply with the governor's order. Later on in Section C, it states that this may be done at a location and a length of time that is provided for by the governor. So the governor can incarcerate you
for life.
Well, that's a possibility.
It doesn't say expiration time. They can say as much as you feel like it. I mean, if it doesn't give me time, this is like NDA, when they said pretty much indefinite detention.
Yeah.
It's back to that. I mean, we're making fun of us, 2012, I guess. Oh, that's not going to happen. Yeah, it's in the law. They never said the moment they're going to release you, they can keep you forever.
See, so the intent of this is that you will comply. Basically, what happens is your constitutional right to due process is completely obfuscated under Arizona Statute 36. Wow. You have no more due process rights if this statute is enacted. So it is this, and this is what we do at the John Birch Society. We are supporters of the Constitution. This statute, ladies and gentlemen, is clearly unconstitutional. And so, and Luca, one thing I always say is what is the worst type of legislation? What is the worst legislation that can be passed? And that's legislation with no checks and no balances.
Exactly.
That is the worst type of legislation. And ladies and gentlemen, if as a matter of fact, if you want to email me, you can email me and I'll send you a synopsis of Statute 36. I'm happy to send it to you. And you will see that this legislation is horribly written legislation with zero checks and balances in it whatsoever. Wow. And my email address, if you would like for me to send that to you, is M as in Mike, and my last name, Kosters, Kosters, MKOSTERS @jbs.org. Wow. And I'm happy to send you the synopsis I have of this. So, yeah, this is you brought up Nuremberg, you brought up Eastern Europe.
People
right.
may say, I don't believe it. Guess what? This is all in the law. It's a statute. It's not like an opinion, okay? This is not a conspiracy. And the funny thing, people say, oh, this is the fact that it's there. I don't care if it's never been used yet. The point is someone in the future or in the near future or maybe even now can use it.
Yeah, and it has been used because it's been used for the business closures, the mask mandates, and that sort of, but it's just the forced vaccination that we have not gotten to yet.
Exactly. Yes. And by the way, that was bad enough. Bad enough. You know how many people died? How many? Business is not just a word like you think, oh, it's a business. So what? No, business means that families behind, people working there, people savings, future of children, that maybe their fathers put all their money to create a future for their children. I mean, this is like people committed suicide, by the way. In Italy, more people died of suicide than really of coronavirus. That's the fact now coming out. Because all the coronavirus deaths were fraudulent. They found out that all the show that they did with the at night with the trucks, military trucks, where is the place where you put a dead body?
Morgue.
Yeah, the morgue. They were empty. They burned empty boxes of wood. This is such a fraudulent, it's criminal. These people should be running now to their private jet. Instead, they're still laughing at us.
Well, and what do we do? Right. This, if you go to meetings from a lot of, and I'm not saying this disparagingly whatsoever, but if you go to the meetings with a lot of patriot groups or church groups or whatever, or you read political periodicals, you hear about the problems. You hear, problem. You
got to get the solution going, some action.
That's the ticket right there.
I agree.
And that's what we do at the John Birch Society. We're not just here to fill your head full of the problems and keep you up at night. No, we're just as much about providing the solutions to you, and that's what really sets us apart. So
I agree with that. It's completely. And by the way, this is exactly the thing we can still do. Because I don't want to hear excuses. I have these idiots out there. Oh, call me when the revolution starts. I say, shut up. You can even walk and come to a meeting. Wait, all you have to do is just talk to your elected person. They hide behind this because they are lazy and they just think that it's a big word out of their mouth. They can't even walk from the fridge to the couch, for God's sake. I bet if you can even run for a block around the house with forget about the rifle, just with your boots, okay? So my point, these people, they're sad because, I don't say everyone, but some of these people, they don't want to be part of this action. They hide behind the fact that, don't worry, in 6 months we're going to be in civil war. Hopefully not. My goal is to avoid that because that would be something that we have no idea. I mean, we can romanticize as much as we want, but if you just for a moment go back to 240 years ago or so, when really people, they were sleeping in caves, or they were had their house burned, and that they have lost everything, and they got their family members shot on the spot, and they lost their business, they lost their life. That was such a very intense moment that we cannot comprehend. This country is being spoiled. We never had an invasion since the 1812, I guess, when the British came back another time. We've been so spoiled. All this world war that we had was all far away. Don't get me wrong. People die overseas. Many people, men and women die. But on the land, we never had the real problem. And these people to say, oh, okay, let's talk when the revolution starts, we want to avoid that. And I think right now, like the example of Arizona, other states leading the way, if we can have a good elected people that they're going to be standing strong, because also they feel supported by elected people, I mean, that by regular people like us, we can start to make a difference. You know,
Well,
I believe that.
And may we talk about the solution side of this
Of course, and
real
that's
quickly?
That's the idea. Go ahead.
Because yeah, I'm going to give you if out there if you're listening to this and if you have a pen and paper, I'm going to give you some information right now. We had when the John Birch Society of Arizona started contacting legislators and making them aware of Statute 36. Over a period of time, we were able to obtain 7 legislators
Wow.
that agreed with us that this has got to be not rewritten, not reworked, not redone, but
Removed.
repealed
Yeah.
completely. This is bad legislation, right? So we had 7 legislators in our state that agreed with them. Now I'm going to list a few of them here. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to do something, if you are tired of hearing about the problems, if you're worried about the future of this country, then jot down these names and get a hold of these legislators. And that is, we talked earlier about people getting a hold of their own legislators. You know, like here we have Sonny Borelli, we have Biasucci, and also Regina Cobb. And yes, it's good to get a hold of those people. As a matter of fact, as a patriot, you really should. But these are people that were going to sponsor the bill to repeal.
Wow.
And I think it's important that people also get a hold of not just their legislators, but these people. Representative Walt Blackman, he supported repeal, and he was going to sponsor a bill, but in this legislative session, we have not seen that.
Wow.
So I would encourage your listeners to get a hold of Representative Walt Blackman. Senator David Gowan, he had the committee that was going to have a public meeting via Zoom that constituents could come, any number of constituents could have joined the meeting and given their opinion on Statute 36. Now, to my knowledge, perhaps that happened and I wasn't notified, but I'm not aware that Senator David Gowan ever put that meeting together. So I would encourage you to contact Senator David Gowan's office,
Wow.
Gowan. Representative Gail Griffin, she was a part of the committee, or is a part of the committee that was going to be in that meeting. She's on that committee, and to repeal Statute 36. So I would also encourage your listeners to get a hold of Representative Gail Griffin and let these ladies and gentlemen, these legislators work for you.
Yeah.
We are not the serfs and they are the lords. They work for us. So, and what I found, don't be afraid to call them up. Don't be afraid to email them, because I found them very eager to know what the constituency wants. They want to be reelected. And so I would encourage you in the strongest, polite but forthright method of getting a hold of them and letting them know that you want Statute 36 repealed, period.
And some of these people, we talk about, but there are other people maybe that they're not even aware of it. I mean, honestly, there is so much that they go, especially a new legislator gets into office, just trying to learn the basics. And they think, okay, now I'm going to impress my constituents with a new law, or maybe I'm going to vote on a new, but they have no idea this is a cancer that's been sitting there for many, many years. So it's very important. I help them out. We learn as we go, and they can learn as they go. I mean, this is the process. That's why I think, the John Birch Society, what I used to really enjoy, beside, of course, receiving the New American magazine, there was also the bulletin online. You can log in, you can see all the different things, every state, what's going on, things that come down from the Second Amendment to things like that they are so important. I mean, every aspect. Of course, we're talking about values that we agree. If you expect to have open borders, free abortion, and free checks for all, don't join the John Birch Society, okay? But if you like, sovereignty, standing up for small individual rights, individual rights, and more important, less government and more self-responsibility, that's the idea of why you should join. Now, another important thing, this is so important. Now, truly, I'm freaking out about this. I would love to, and I'll answer that you just were speaking, of course, invite again, we had a very good show with Senator Borrelli that, by the way, is going through this audit. I think he's coming to a point that I'm amazed he's still walking on his legs, because he's really, maybe he need to tell us some stories, because I'm pretty sure that he got some messages, not maybe so veiled messages. When you mess with such powers, it is worse than the mafia. These people have billions, unlimited resources. What we're talking about, if we can put a little bit of a scratch in that mirror of glasses that they created with this fraud, and we can show, starting from Arizona, there is a crippling effect, that the truth is coming out, the repercussion could be huge. A real constitutional crisis. So I wouldn't be surprised, and I would like to ask him next time I see him, what type of pressure did he receive? Not just from legislators, but also from other sources that maybe he may not even tell us. So I would like to have him here again with, of course, Representative Biasucci, and have a meeting, invite as many people as possible to talk about just this. Because I think, as much as they're already understanding and on top, they agree with this idea, guess what? This can be another priority. As they finish, they've done a great job with, of course, the audit is going through, and the thing they promised us, and I think it was excellent, about the sanctuary state for the Second Amendment. I would put this as the next priority that they need to see it coming through. So let's do that, if you agree, guys. Maybe, what do you think, Mike? Would be nice if I can call him maybe next week. I just talked to Leo last week, 3 days ago. He had a great idea. I'm very impressed with him. He called me the night of, about last week, Thursday night, say, Luca, in Golden Valley, people have no water. I said, no, really, I don't live anymore in Golden Valley. I'm sorry. So there was a well was shut down. I said, I'm so sorry, man. I have no idea. This is terrible. Because, I used to also have my own well in Golden Valley. But I know that the Pioneer Water, they have problem once in a while. But now it's summertime on top. Without water, even 2 days is too much. So anyway, would you mind? I bought like a few hundred cases not a few hundred cases. You bought a big amount anyway. I fill up my yellow truck of water, but I have nobody to deliver it. I said, I guess that's the hint. I think I'm going to be the delivery boy. So anyway, it was great. He's a very nice guy. I like him a lot. And it was for me. You bought the water. Minimum I can do is deliver it. So anyway, bottom line, I talked to him. I told him, please, I would like to see you again when you come back from Phoenix. He promised me that he's supposed to be around probably next week. I'm going to give him a call, and also to Senator Borrelli. And I really would like to have him make a big event. I want this time, people. I want people to show support, to ask questions, because this is supposed to be something. I don't care what party you are. I don't care if you have no party. I don't think nobody should be forced to be inoculated with anything, even if it was just vitamin B12. They would be still bad. I don't care.
Yeah, and this isn't anti-vax. That's not what this is. This is about your rights being taken away.
Wow.
For years and years in the abortion argument, we heard my body, my choice,
yeah,
right? How many decades have we heard that? Well, all of a sudden, those same people that have been using that term, when it comes to vaccinations, that's not the case anymore. It's not my body and my choice.
These are scary.
What has changed, right? So you asked the question. I want to answer you. Yes, not only do I think it's a good idea, I think it's a fantastic idea. You can count on me being here.
Let's make it big, and I would like to have all the JBS members in the room. And let's get as many people as we can, and let's make a big stint about this. Because as I said, at the end of the day, to spread the truth, you don't need a majority. One person can say the facts, can All you need to be is bold enough, stand up enough. You don't need a mob to say the truth. You don't need a majority. You
No.
need that's also how things started. I mean, after all, it's the voice of truth. One person can share it. And we have more than one voice. I think we're going to have a nice, organized, compact group. And by the way, I'm joining again after years. It's been since the last time I was, probably 6-7 years ago, I was a member. I'm getting online and getting my JBS membership again, because I think it's something that talk is cheap. At the end of the day, this organization, they have to live and survive. And even if they're no profit, they still need to live. And their expenses, you think about, just offices and phone calls and people, they may be volunteer, but when they go around, once in a while, they need to eat, they're going to be reimbursed, and they need to have gas. I mean, everything needs money. We're working on penny on the dollar. I mean, look around. These people, this foundation, all these left wings or whatever, I don't even care left or right, all these neocons, all these anti-constitutional foundations, they are financed by billionaires, trillionaires. And we're working here on what? $1 a week, $1 a month. I mean, you can get a basic membership for $47. What is your excuse? You go to whatever, I don't want to mention the name, the place to get coffee, okay? Starbucks, I mentioned it. I hate it. Anyway, you sit down for some dirty water that stinks, for God's sake, a terrible coffee. They call it all this fancy name, $5. Are you kidding me? I can have a meal with that. So anyway, but my point is, we can, even if money is tough, I still think we can scrape $50 for start, the minimum membership. And at least you can be updated what's going on. They send you emails. You can do your little part. When you got the email, you don't just read it. At that point, they tell you what to do. They give you a database, contact your local legislator. The email is already prepared. They give you also the letter already done.
That's right.
You just send the bottom. At least you've done that. You don't even need to be able to say, I don't know how to write. Doesn't matter. They write for you.
When you look up your legislator on jbs.org, our website, you put in where you're at, and your legislators come up, and there are pre-written letters.
Beautiful.
You don't even have to write the letters.
Exactly.
And you can contact your legislator. You don't even need to pick up the phone. And it can
be done a lot of great job. In this way, you feel like you're really doing something. I don't care how it ends up. We got to do our part. Same story, another organization I really like is AZCDL, Arizona Citizen Defense League. In Arizona, they've been, since they started it, they made this state, and also JBS, of course, help a lot too, but they really focus only the Second Amendment. That's their specialty. But Arizona, it is the first state when it comes down to gun rights, 6-7 years in a row, according to Guns and Ammo magazine, because of small little groups like JBS, like the AZCDL, and all the little people like us that we send these little emails. Guess what? At the end, made a difference.
That's right.
And we cannot just sit down. So please join the JBS. I'm telling you, I don't have any special interest. I don't get paid by them. I truly believe, for me as a formation, as a human being, as an American, of course, since I came to this country 22 years ago, I was lucky. And I say I was lucky because I could have been just stuck. I mean, I never would have become a commie. I left Italy because of that. But still being ignorant, don't understanding the roots of the problem, you cannot fix the problem. So you got to understand, educate yourself. So do it. Now, what's next? When is the date? Let's find out the date here. Let's start to think about it. I'm going to run it. Let's see. We are right now, today is, it is the 21st of May. The legislature is shut down. When is going to close the legislature, Mike?
Do you know what the date is?
Pretty soon, I guess. Maybe next.
It's soon.
No.
Next
Yeah,
week.
I don't know the exact day.
Well, did you say Sonny was going to be back or in next
Next week. But I was thinking about, since they're coming back, probably they're going to have a little bit of a break. Let's do something symbolic, close to our 4th of July.
That would be
No,
good.
maybe not the 4th, because people, they're going to have family and reunion, of course. But they may tell you, stay home and don't get out of the house. I don't think we're going to follow that, right? But regardless, maybe, what do you think? What is a good date for you? What would be a good date to do it?
I can make, you mean for me personally?
I mean, in general, for the event. I think about 4th of July, close to that day, but we cannot do that day. People's going to be around, probably going to be with their families.
Well, a great date would be Constitution Day. However, we've already got a huge event happening in Mesa for the JBS on
Okay.
Constitution Day
Well, let's do
in
that
September.
too. Well, September is too far. We need it now.
We're bringing in a national known constitutional
I would
expert.
like to do it, between the end of June, after the 23rd, and let's think for a moment. Maybe next couple of days.
What day is the 4th? Do you know what day the 4th
no.
of July is?
Yeah.
It's a Sunday.
It's a Sunday. Maybe we could do it the day before the 4th.
Saturday?
Like a Saturday on the 3rd.
That would be good. Saturday would be nice here.
Because then it's tangentially related. You know?
Hopefully people they're gonna be around. Whatever, we're gonna put it out. I don't think people are gonna go too far anyway in this time. Gas is gonna be so expensive in a month from now. Guys, you think now gas is expensive? This is a warm up, and I would like to have a message for all the morons out there that they voted for the people, the man with dementia. You know, I'm talking about Biden. Guys, seriously, this is beyond stupid. And you can hate me all you want. You think I'm a Republican. I'm not even a Republican. I'm an independent. I can't stand Republican leaders. But my point here, you are just damn stupid. Because after all, for your ego, for your, these people have such an ego. You know, they're worse than the Republicans, I tell you. They really believe just because they hate so much Trump, they would kill themselves and their families. Yeah. This is self-destructive. What is common sense here? I don't care about politics. I care about I can feed my children tonight, and we have still a little bit of freedom. And more important, I can even travel freely because I can afford gas. And most of these people voted for Biden. They're not like millionaires, okay? No. They're just average people. So they're going to be punished probably before everybody else. I don't care how many free checks you get from the government. Your check is going to be worthless because meanwhile the inflation is going to be so high that whatever charity the government gives you is going to be peanuts. So enjoy it. Enjoy your.
Well, Biden shuts down a pipeline, and gas goes up over $1 a gallon.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations, folks! You just voted in a huge tax increase on yourself.
And Virginia, by the way, I have friends in Virginia that they show me their, during the moment of crisis, there was like $7 a gallon some places. They were just,
Well, I was just over in California. I had business over there to do. California is one of my states, and I was putting in gas in the tank over $5 a gallon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable.
Well, this is it, guys. As I said, there is always time for redemption. Eventually, I don't know much. You know what is said, Mike? I really truly believe now we are beyond logic. There are almost two parts of humanity. Okay. I'm not a Bible scholar. I'm not trying to preach anything, but I start to see some scripture when people say brothers against brother, family divided. I don't know. I start to believe that we are some sort of at this point because there is no way we are made with the same brain. I mean, we're supposed to have all a logic, a brain. Some people may be smarter, some people may be dumber, but there is a point when you are normal. How can you see things so differently when they are so in front of you? Yeah. Like, for example, what do you want to defend about what's going on the last 3 months of this administration, regardless of politics? It is about just basic common sense, Yeah. And they hate you, by the way. And the only reason why these enforcement, like, we were talking about forced vaccination and the mask and the business shutdown, not because government has power, because people will police each other. And that's what happened in history. The government, Hitler was just a voice, was just a man. Stalin was just a man. The only reason why all these acts of evils happened because other people were making it happen.
That's right.
I notice now, I go still, even Kingman is pretty good, okay? I mean, I was 2 weeks ago, I was in Safeway, and there were two idiots, really two idiots. I'm not trying to put people down, but you know what? I can smell them because they look like two idiots, and they smell like idiots. And they were in with the little short pants, all dressed up like, they have the little mask, two masks. I think one had two masks. Yes, I realized that. And they were staring at me because I think they know me on Facebook, and they probably heard me. And they know very well where I stand. I got the flag here, F. Biden outside the street, okay? So they got probably a mop. They threw, how many Democrats we have in town? Maybe 20. That's 2 of 20, okay? So they saw me, and they saw, oh, it's him. They was doing that with the hand, They thought I didn't see him. I was looking at my stuff, but I always pay attention with my. So I turn around and smile. And they start to look down, and I keep looking at them. And then I do, and they ran. They start running. Oh my God, it's spreading the coronavirus. So go get your vaccine, run. Seriously, they are insane. These people, though, I tell you, don't underestimate them because they will get together with the mob. This is the same type of crowd that during the French Revolution, they will get you out of your home just because you had maybe, I don't know, something they didn't like, or maybe something that they wanted from you, or maybe they were jealous, or whatever. The same people that during the Chinese Revolution, they were getting you out of your home, or maybe during the Cambodia Revolution, just because you had, eyeglasses, or maybe because you were intellectual, or whatever.
The modus operandi has not changed.
When
whether it was China, whether it was Germany,
now
whether
we
it
have
was
them
Russia.
here. We have them here. They've been
Yep.
raised in our school. They've been, created, molded in our university, and now they're ready to be unleashed on us like the useful idiots. So be ready. And I have no mercy for them. I tell you guys, if the time comes, I want peace and love, but the times you bring crap, you're going to get double-sided crap. Because at this point, these people, they don't deserve any mercy. They are beyond disgustful because they are not just enemies of the Republic. They're also cowards. I have more respect for people who say, you know what, this is who I am, and I'm going to come and see you and get you in person. No, they're the same people that will surround your car, maybe old mom, old grandpa, and they get you out, they burn your car, and they beat you to death. So these people don't deserve anything. But they're really, truly out there here to idolize of you. Not as many as in big city. This BLM, Antifa, we are not really good here. They understand the demographic. Does it really help the health?
They were escorted out of Kingman.
Oh, they wouldn't last a day here, okay? But still, don't get me wrong, times can change. Any other things we're going to talk about before we go ahead? We're almost at the end. Oh my gosh, 1 minute. Give us the website. Give us everything you can. People join the JBS. Come on.
JBS.org. My email is mkosters@jbs.org. And thank you, Luca, for bringing up that we are a nonprofit.
Thank you. Join up, please, guys. Don't give up. Fight back. This is the way we can do it. I don't want to see excuses about jumping in the street with your rifle. This is not the time. No. This is the time to stand up, do your part. Don't be lazy. Don't forget to support the show. Social Contact Club, please come. What did you say? JBS, of course. I said JBS. We say JBS.org. And of course, come to the show. That means Monica Horta, send us money directly. Come to socialcontactclub.com.
Why did you look at me when you said that?
No, I was just looking at you because the only people I can see is you. Send us money, no matter. Buy coffee, ZannaCoffee.com. There is so many ways you can support us. You can come here, just join us at the Social Contact Club. Drop a little donation. Doesn't matter. We operate because we wanted to do this out of this place, a place to gather, to meet our elected people, unite, have fun, at the same time do our political job. And that means freedom. All right, that's enough. Thank you very much. Talk to you next Sunday. And YouTube, screw you.
Burn that useless mask and say no to tyranny. Join the Social Contact Club, where we take back our freedom. If you believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, this is the place where you will find the right people. Live music, dancing, poker, open mic, singles night, dating, darts, football, games. Human interaction without mask and social distancing, like free Americans. Located at 3001 Stockton Hill Road, Kingman, Arizona. Go to socialcontactclub.com, where commies and liberals are not welcome.